Democratic Party, the PDP, said the party is well positioned to take back power in 2027 as they have re-strategized and they emerge stronger for the battle ahead. Today on the program, we will look at the outcome of the meeting held by the PDP over the weekend, where they made strong their position to take back power in the state in 2027. Don't forget, from the pinnacle of all discussion. My name is Ginika Oluwaha. Welcome to the program. All right, welcome back to the program. The platform here on Flow 94.9 FM. So we are looking at the politics revolving around the People's Democratic Party here in Abia State, where they said they are ready to take back power in the state 2027. Well, joining me to talk about this is the Abia State Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, Eric Ikwawe, joins me virtually this morning. Eric, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Ginika. Thank you for having me. Good morning, Abians.
Welcome. Okay, so we over the weekend, we saw when the clip is everywhere. I mean, your party chairman, Chief Abraham Ama, was actually spitting fire and saying that the party is now well positioned to take power. After that meeting held over the weekend, he said those that do not want to remain in the party should leave. And when you look at the tone of that statement, many people are wondering, the party that wants to come back stronger, and you're saying those that don't want to stay should leave. Is that tone needed to whoop, to woo people back into the party, and for those that want to go, maybe pacify them not to leave? Eric.
Well, thank you for this keen interest in what happens in Abia PDP. We all know that without a viable and potent opposition, that there's every tendency to get a tyranny in the system. So the duties of the opposition cannot be overemphasized. And in this instance, Abia State is one state that seriously needs the kind of opposition the People's Democratic Party is offering. It's been very constructive. It's been largely very logical. So now, the issue of the statement credited to the chairman of Abia State PDP, Elder Abraham Ama, is one that is very timely. It's one that should be applauded by every well-meaning a member of the People's Democratic Party in Abia State. We all understand that some persons, no matter how you try to put them in the right track, their own is to destroy the party from within. So that statement goes directly to those folks we all know that instead of them to leave honorably, like others are doing, they will decide to stay back to pull down the party. There is a reason this word sabotage was created. Okay, it happens in the military. It happens in the international espionage missions where somebody will go and sabotage his country, sell out information for your enemy to use in rounding you up. So it is happening in the politics too. And you can agree with me that the 2023 election was, apart from the God factor, essentially lost based on internal sabotage. So what will it profit somebody to remain in PDP even after they have caused the greatest havoc? To still remain, I want to do that. I am telling you for free, and with every sense of responsibility, that I will still have pockets of people who want to be in the party to still draw the party down. So that statement directly goes to them. You cannot wake a man who is pretending to be asleep, and you cannot shave a man's head in his absence. There has been a reconciliation committee that has been set off, and those who are genuinely aggrieved, who had issues to be angry, they are all being reconciled, just like the last concluded Congress. There are persons who believe that it didn't go the way they wanted, and they were spoken to by the very high level committee members of that reconciliation team, and they stayed back, and we didn't hear any fallout from that Congress. So that is exactly those that can be wooed. But a man who is intentional about his sabotage promises, in politics, you stay in a party and you tell the man outside, don't worry, I'll stay here to be giving you information to make sure I pull down this party. It happens in politics. So there are persons who still receive money from other political parties to destroy the PDP. So that statement is directed at them. And we do not want such persons. just recently, the man representing them, the North, has, tendered his resignation. It's okay. We have accepted it in good faith.
Let's get it straight. Is it in the State House of Assembly or what?
Yes, in the State House of Assembly. It wasn't, remember the last time I was in your studio, I said that we are expecting a number of them to leave to pursue their personal interest, but it by no means going to end PDP or collapse the party. Just like the man who is representing me, Lucky Johnson, when he said his exit will collapse PDP. You saw what happened on Monday when the party secretariat was opened in Isukwata. The number of persons who turned out for that event, even given that day was on a Monday and most people stayed back because of fear of sit-at-home order. But you see the number of persons that came out. So no one individual can collapse a party. It's erroneous because somebody's little mindset that make him believe once you leave the party, you will crash the party. And especially PDP is not a party that is circled around one individual. It is a party that has a generic followership. There is no family in Abia State, even in Nigeria, that will not boast of 1 or 2 members belonging to PDP. It's a very organic party that has this followership running in the DNA of persons. So it is difficult for an individual to say you're going to kill the party. So immediately, the man who is representing me in the House of Assembly left. A good number of persons came up, to start sponsoring the party, paid for office, paid for fans, sponsor. People are very happy. So it goes to show that the party is repositioning with the grassroots appeal we are getting. Yes, we allow people to mock and laugh, but we know that the evaluation we are getting from membership drive, from commitment of members, from commitment from stakeholders, we are sure that we are doing the right thing. And then given the level of governance when it comes to the welfare of the people, you understand that the PDP is missed a lot. The hunger in Abia State is giving rise to PDP having that hope of coming back to taking up power. Okay, if you consider the hyper allocation, the huge allocation that is accrued to this government ever since they entered, based on a subsidy removal, and match it side by side with what other states are doing, you will understand why PDP is confident that it's going to bring back power to the people. It's going to make sure people's welfare is number one. It should be something that is paramount, beyond and above every other consideration, the welfare of the people. Now, Nigeria is in a very economic situation. And when you have a situation like this that I can call a depression, we are just coming out from almost a depression. Okay. Now, we are just coming out from there to now maybe a recession. The number one thing, if you're an economist, that is paramount, is to cater for the welfare of the people. Subsidy removal, removed a lot from the disposable income of the average Nigerian, especially Dito Abia State. Okay? So once that money is removed and removed from the so-called subsidies and given to the governors, the expectation is that the governors should, make number one policy, welfare of the people the number one policy, no matter what you do. Just like when they had the Great Depression in France because of cost of bread, the welfare of the people was not taken into consideration, and there was this riot. So, in order not to, cause economic friction, you must have to attend to the welfare of the people. So the welfare is something that is lacking in Abia State, and with the reports we get on the field and our membership drive, we are confident that PDP is going to come back.
Okay, so we will still talk about PDP at Abians, if you've been able to reach out to Abians, because if you're talking about coming back to the, to power, of course you have to go through the people. But let's look at the issue of fence mending, the reconciliation committee set up by your party. How is it faring? Have you been able to reconcile the aggrieved ones within, because you talked about people who are still in the party but still aggrieved and they want to pull down the party. Have you actually reached out to them? Because if you're saying if you don't want to stay in the party, leave, why don't you look into the genuine concerns of those people to probably see if you can mend fence and bring them back to the fold?
No, what I did was to specify the different types of persons who you see in a political party. Those who are genuinely aggrieved, I said, have been reached, they have been approached by the committee, and they have given their words. In fact, you'll be surprised from July, the number of influx of members who are going to have new ones and returning members, or those who are sitting on the fence. Now, for those who are pretending to be asleep, those are the ones that are captured as those who are saboteurs, who are in the party, being sponsored by other elements outside the party to pull down the PDP. Those are the ones that that marching order was given. Please leave. It is honorable to leave the party, but those who are genuinely aggrieved, who can put one or two things on the table to say, this is exactly what is annoying me, this is the point of disagreement with me and PDP, and you look at it, the person has a genuine, even if it's not very genuine, but the person is bold enough to put it on the table and seek to a resolution to it. We are all human beings. It's a give and take thing. We'll resolve it. And I'm telling you for free that the committee has done a very wonderful work, and majority of them will come back. But those who are pretending to be asleep, you can't wake a man who is pretending to be asleep.
Okay.
So I am saying that you will see the results very soon. Okay. We are building, and it is not something as you're building, it's an internal thing. It's not something that is meant for the cameras. It's not something that is meant to attract public attention. See, we get to a point where we can now launch out. People will now see the level of work we have put into the rebuilding process.
Okay, so talking about the House member, that is the Ben and North State Constituency representatives in the State Assembly that he talked about, has actually dropped his resignation letter. Did you make an effort to stop him from leaving? And if any other person, can you tell us any other member of the State House of Assembly who may likely leave the PDP?
Remember, I once told you that the last time I was here, that yes, a number of them will leave, but there are persons who believe in themselves. Now, it is not a new thing for members of the legislature, especially state legislature, to run from one party, from their party to the party of the governor. It's everywhere. Anyway, it's happening there. It happened in Imo State. It's everywhere. It is for those who do not believe in themselves, the ability to win elections standing on their own. They will want to, take refuge under the sitting governor. So you see them cross carpet immediately, and believing that the funding and they will now run under the same platform with the governor, given that the election will be on the same day. But those who know that they are offering the dividends of democracy to their people, just like Mandela, who hosted the meeting, he's so sure of himself that if he runs the election, even if we have what they call independent candidates, like they do in America in that constituency, and Honorable Mandela will win it over and over and over. So there is no need him jumping from one party, running around begging the governor to admit him in their party. Normally, it is the government of the day that will approach House members. They'll poach them to call this other one. These other guys are poaching themselves to join the governor. And why the governor made a categorical statement in my local government that he never asked anybody to come join him. They were the persons begging to join him. That is a very instructive, very serious statement that we have to look into. So you are rushing to follow the governor, whereas in other climes, whereas in other places where the normal trend is for the governor to reach out for members of the House of Assembly to join him in his own party. But tonight, the reverse is the case. We have members who are solid PDP men who believe that they are offering the best dividends of democracy to their people, who know that they won the election based on their popularity, and they are living up to their bidding and their promises to their people. They are going to run under the PDP, and they are going to be victorious at the end of the day. So they are not shaking, they are afraid. For those first-timers, most especially, who didn't understand how the metrics that brought them there, I don't blame them. Like I say, the party is an open exit and entry. It is like a cathedral. You walk in and you walk out. As you are walking out, a whole number of persons who you debarred from joining the party because of your position. I look at what is happening in Isikwato, where I come from. You need to see the scramble to take up responsibility. This person will tell you, I'm going to pay 500,000 to get shares. Another person is pledging 1 million to do selling fan. Another person is pledging because that particular person who they believe has been blocking them is no longer there. So they are willing to put their money, to try their destiny to make sure that the party recognizes them. And let me say this, it is part of reconciliation too, that when Mr. A is given a ticket, you must have wronged A, B, C, D too. So when you wrong B, C, D too, B, C, and D, because you gave A ticket, and now the A has left, this thing is open for everybody to contest. So, and the chairman of PDP that state is promising to give everybody fair level, a fair level playing field, to be able to test their popularity within the members of the PDP, to elect them, for them to now go and run under the platform of PDP. So it's going to be from the grassroots. It's no longer going to be from up to down. Like I said, the party is regenerating, the party is rebuilding, the party is rebranding, and it is an eternal matter. It is when we have finished what we are doing that we can now come up to tell Abians, this is another PDP you're seeing. Look at the man who has emerged from this. We will know that the kind of wrangling that will happen in other parties, even the parties they are running up into, for now, is still fragmented. We don't even know the one INEC will recognize at the end of the day. So for them to even give a lame excuse that it is the division in PDP that is making them leave is the lamest excuse I've seen in my world. One even has to go and manufacture his own exit, his own suspension, just to find a way. So what am I saying? That the PDP is building, it is easier for a party in power to assume they are doing very well till you're tested. Just the local government election that does happen is a test case. If the governor believed his party and his people are so popular, he would have allowed a free and fair election to happen. I would have seen what would have been the turnout of that election.
Eric, before I let you go, now another statement is from your chairman is that the PDP is well positioned and well strategized, to take over the mantle of leadership in Abia State in 2027. But considering the fact that some people are already leaving, especially your elected lawmakers are already leaving the party, how will you be able to achieve that? Because when you talk about politics, they say it's a game of numbers. If people that you actually elected on the platform of the PDP, like the lawmaker,
in the grassroots, we are confident that there's a tsunami that is brewing. That is unseen because of the fanfare. The governor is like a star. You stop, a lot of people gather. But go to the homes of these civil servants and ask them, what is the welfare condition of their welfare condition? You get the truth from them. So why they will pretend on that election day, they will come out and they will tell you if they are for you or not. So forget what you're saying. Forget sponsors propaganda. I'm telling you that the signs we are seeing, the evaluation we are getting, the reports we are getting in the field is one that is giving us confidence and making our chairman boldly come out to say that PDP is positioned to take back power. Take it for granted, laugh about it, but the signs are there. We are seeing it and we are pursuing it vigorously. And at the end of the day, we'll see what will happen.
The Publicity Secretary of the Abia State People's Democratic Party, Eric Ikwawo. Thank you so much for speaking with us on the platform this morning. I do appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.